I looked at Jacob.
And the bass player and the drummer have this connection on stage that, that's the backbone of the
Dude.
band.
You know what? I'll tell you one thing. I've been, in my career, I've been very blessed as a drummer to play with some of the most amazing bass players out there. And he was like, to me, he reminded me of an Adolf and Speedy because of the way he played. Mind you, his first gig with us.
Who were
Adolf was with La Mafia and
Mafia.
Excelencia, and Speedy was with La Mafia and Excelencia.
Yeah.
And there was just something about how they played the bass, especially Speedy. Speedy was real showman, one hand and show, and a badass bass player. So Jacob, when he played with us his first gigs, he had his bass up here, right, real high, and then he just started lowering it. And once he decided to actually get in the band, or we kept him, should I say, he bought a bass. He actually bought a new bass, and he would play it low. And he reminded me of those two guys and Steve Harris, because he would pick up the bass like Steve Harris.
Yeah.
And do that.
From Iron Maiden.
Yeah, dude. And he was a performer. Not aparte from him being a badass bass player, he was an amazing performer. He would be over there on the speakers and over here, and I mean, he was a good show. He was like, and
he was
mind
fun
you,
to watch.
Yeah, and he was what, 18, 17 years old?
And then he was drumming with he was playing with one of the best drummers in the business.
I was playing with one of the best bass players in the business.
I know, but I'm sure he felt the same way about you, knowing of your history, you know what I mean, and who you've been with. So can you imagine the excitement in him when he realized he was going to be on stage with you, dude? Because like I said, the drummers and the bass players, they have this certain relationship on stage that backs up the entire. It's the bass, you know. It's the
Well, one of the things that I'm very
foundation,
One of the things that I'm very proud of, that we'll all have for the rest of our lives, is the Signal Live album. Because the Signal Live album, we recorded it in Houston, and that record, when you put it on from start to finish, what we played that night on that stage is what is on that record. There's no overdubs. There's no go back and redo it.
Studio
It's just
magic
how we sounded that day. And he played perfect. Like he was just, and he was amazing, bro. Like
how did his accident affect you, bro?
It was bad, bro. It was bad because I was around him a lot. He was, like we were around him a lot, and I've had family members pass away in my life, and I never once shed a tear for any. I mean, not saying that I'm this dude or whatever, but it never really affected me like that. And with him, I lost it, bro. And I lost it when I saw him, because they told us it was over. He's not gonna make it. Richard comes and picks me up, telling me, "Mijo got in an accident." I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, he's not gonna make it. They're saying he's not gonna make it." So we haul ass from San Antonio to Harlingen.
That's unbelievable,
dude. And we know what happened, what they're telling us, and then we went in there basically to say goodbye. And dude, I fucking lost it, bro. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy to see him like that. Like this dude that was like our little brother. It was just crazy, bro. It was like, and then, come to find out that now they're saying he's starting to progress as far as he's gonna make it, So
at that moment that you guys are there, and
to be honest with you, at that moment it was like,
he was gonna.
My thing was, we're done. This is over. I didn't want to do it without him. I didn't. I remember us going to Turner's house to have a talk about what we were gonna do. I just said, I don't want to do it. Richard was like, he kind of felt the same way.
Do you think that kind of like started the thought process of maybe giving that up with Signal?
Well, no, not really, because Lalo had told me We
Lorena,
talked.
La
La
Lorena,
Lorena, we talked.
Elida's
Yeah,
husband.
we talked, and he told me like, I mean, he's like, I understand how you feel. He goes, but who do you think has it worse than you? It's his dad, you know. And it's like, how can y'all help him, or help take care of Jacob? We got to go to work. We got to help pay for whatever, or to help, you know, that
Medical expenses
exactly
skyrocket.
So then it kind of, I guess to be honest with you, it kind of made a little sense to get back out there, and it was tough at first because it's like you don't really want to be out there because it's not the same, and it's never it'll never ever be the same. I mean, it's when it's not a certain group of guys. I mean, of course, the machine goes on. You know, the life goes on. It just goes on. But when it's not a certain, it's like perfect example. I'm a big Motley Crue fan. I saw Motley Crue without Vince Neil. Tommy Lee was there, but Vince Neil wasn't there. It was not the same. I saw Motley Crue without Tommy Lee twice, and Vince was there, but it wasn't Tommy Lee. It was just not the same. Even though the drummer, Randy Castillo, was playing the songs, even though the Samantha Maloney, I saw with Samantha Maloney played drums, and even though they were getting the point across, it was not the same. There's this thing that those four guys do together. And for me, the chemistry that we had with Jacob was just one of a kind. That's how come I say I'm proud of that Signal live album, because that will live forever, you know. And it was just it wasn't the same. It would never be the same. Granted, Ruben Robles came in and you know,
Took over his
took
duties.
over, yeah, and did his best. I mean, he's still doing it, you know. But I mean, like I said, Ruben in his right, he's great, you know. You don't take nothing away from him, but it's not Jacob, you know. No matter how much, it'll never be Jacob, you know. And I guess that's just part of life, man. You know, it is what it is, and you know, the machine got to keep going. And
So do you.
yeah, of course.
You moved away from Signal.